cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. It's time again.
What up, y'all? You tuned in to the 52 Scott Podcast. This is Music Monday, and I'm your host, Slash. And with me, I got EP98, K Money, Freddie G. Together, we are the Mind of Men. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast. On Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. All right, welcome back to another Music Monday. Got another great topic for you. Want to talk about some apps and some different things that you can use, whether you're sound designing, whether you're recording, whether you're a new artist, whether you're a producer. There's so many different apps that you can use that can help you create a sound or a certain sound. However, there's one particular app that a lot of people are using that's creating another sound, and I'm guessing that they're having fun with it because so many people have used it. Let's just go ahead and face the elephant in the room. Auto-Tune. Auto-Tune is the app that I'm talking about that a lot of artists are using. I mean, they making number one hits. They getting Billboard charted, you know, they getting recognized because of these different apps and stuff like that, which that's fine. Now, the original auto-tune sound comes from the voice box in which Roger Troutman used to use back in the days. He was a member of Zapp. So we used to listen to Zapp, and he had a computer sound. Actually, one of the names of one of his biggest songs was Computer Love. Had the real computer-generated sound, vocoder type of thing. But the way that Roger Troutman used that device was much different from what's going on now and what some of these artists are using. Now, Roger had to be extremely talented due to the fact that the only way the notes or the melody was coming out was through the keys that he was playing on his keyboard. He just had a tube in his mouth to where he shaped the words as the melody comes from the keyboard. The app that they're using now, Auto-Tune, is a pitch correction tool that automatically corrects a wrong note and puts it in the proper key that it should be in when you set it for that key. Like if you want it in the key of C, then it'll never go out of the key of C. It'll always stay there, and it'll actually auto correct your voice to go to that one particular place on that note and that key. But I just want to talk about some of the people who've made auto-tune really, really big, and this first person, goes unknown. T-Pain. And honestly, when T-Pain did the auto-tune, it changed the game. Now, there were others doing it before him, but I think he made it the most popular because he made hits with it. Now, to be totally honest, I don't think T-Pain really need auto-tune on his voice. What y'all think?
No, I don't think so either. He actually can sing.
Have Comedian 96 you've heard?
Yeah, it's crazy. I heard T-Pain earlier this year. I think I remember telling y'all we had a show back in March. I had never heard T-Pain sing in real life, and he was actually singing. I want to say it was gospel. Man, that dude got a voice.
I forget what show it was he was on.
He was with
he had a band with him.
The man,
Was it Mass?
I seen him on the Mass Singer.
Yeah, the Mass Singer.
The Mass Singer too, as well.
Uh-huh.
He's really good. He don't need auto-tune.
He don't need auto-tune. So I was surprised. I was like, all these years he's been out, why is he using auto-tune? What was the purpose?
Well,
because you already got a voice.
I think the purpose was because he realized that he made hits with it.
Yeah.
A lot of artists used it, but they didn't make hits.
And he was trying to be different.
That's what I was going to touch on. Like, if I had to guess, well, before I even share that with you, one of the things that really showed me that he could sing, if any singer out there can pull this off, then that tells me you can sing. He actually sung the national anthem.
Yeah, you got to have a good voice.
You got to have a voice to sing
Yeah.
the national anthem.
Yeah.
And he did really good singing the national anthem. Now, kind of piggybacking off of UK Money, I think that when you think about singers, first of all, there are so many singers in the industry or trying to break into the industry. And you got to ask yourself, well, how do I get in to be different?
Right.
So I think that he probably looked at Roger Troutman.
Yeah.
And he probably was like, let me reinvent this or recycle this because nobody's using it right now.
And it makes sense.
Nobody's using it right now. So let me recycle this. And he was making hits.
Right. And then when you get you receive something from Billboard saying, hey, you number one on our top 100 and you use auto-tune, it's acceptable now. And now what that does for other artists, like you say, that's trying to get in the game, they start thinking logically, maybe I should use auto-tune because I'm trying to get a hit just like that. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a hit if you do the same thing because, of course, it's all at God's timing. God may not want you to have a hit. God gave him the hit. But it's been used through singers, and T-Pain is a singer that we're talking about. Now, it's some rappers using auto-tune, and they making hits. They doing pretty good. But question is, especially in rapping, is auto-tune really helping you, or is that hurting?
It's some singers that are using it too.
Well, we talked about the singers. We on the rappers now.
We on the rappers now. Yeah.
Does that help a rapper's career to put auto-tune on rapping? Because remember, auto-tune is a self-correcting pitch mechanism that puts your voice in the correct key. Rappers don't necessarily rap in a key. Rappers rap in their voice. There's not a key to it. Keys are used when you singing and you need to hit a C, or you need to hit a D, or you need to hit an E flat. I don't know a rapper that says, okay, I'm gonna rap my vocal in B flat.
You know,
or you sharp or you sound sharp or something to that.
So auto-tune is not even for rap. It's basically what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a pitch correcting mechanism.
I would say if it's a hardcore gangster rap, it won't fit. But if it's like a Will Smith type rapper, somebody that's like a playful, you know what I mean? Like not really a ghetto rapper, sort of like they just like because I wouldn't call Ludacris a gangster rapper. He plays with his lyrics.
I think it's up to the individual artist that's using it, how creative they can become, which will make it successful.
My issue with rappers using auto-tune. So, if you are an established rapper, meaning that you've already made hits without auto-tune.
Right.
You've made hits, you're good.
Right.
Then I don't think that I know you're pressed every day to be better and better and better.
To better yourself.
Right. But I don't think that if you're an established rapper, there's no need to go and listen to make songs with auto-tune because you've already captured your audience because they like your sound.
Right.
They like your vocals.
Correct.
They like the way you sound. So there's no need to go and add auto-tune because what you've done for instance, like Lil Wayne, for an example, right? He was already decent with his regular vocals, right? And now I know that he's made songs with auto-tune, but sometimes I can't even understand what he's saying. Right. Because you've added auto-tune.
You've added something.
Yeah. Now, if you are a new rapper coming into the game, and you're skilled with your pen. Right. You're a good writer, you're skilled with your pen, but you got a horrible voice on the microphone.
Now you may want to put that.
You're recording, you're horrible. And your producer who produces, man, you got a cold pen, man, but
it
you just don't sound right, man. You don't sound good. Then I can see that artist because he's trying to break into the game. Right. I can see him using auto-tune. But if you are an established artist and you've already got your fan, you've already sold millions of records, and we love your voice. Like, for instance, I think Jadakiss got one of the dopest voices.
Yeah,
man.
he don't need no auto.
I can't see Jadakiss with an auto tune. He got a dope voice.
Yeah, why would you do it?
The baby. I would hate for him to use the. You know what I mean? I would hate to hear his voice or auto tune.
So I'm gonna stop you when you say which baby you talking
the
about.
Baby.
DA,
not DA, not Lil Baby. The Baby with the deeper voice. I would hate to hear him on auto tune because he got the voice already.
I don't like that one.
You don't like the Baby?
I like Lil Baby. Lil Baby is more original and seems to me as if he's more, I don't want to say street, I don't want to use that, but I can kind of listen to what Lil Baby's saying, and I'm like, okay, I can kind of relate to that from my years at his age. You know what I'm saying? He's talking kind of similar to some stuff that I would know, but Da Baby is
he's more gangster rap.
Yeah,
but I like his voice. I'm talking about his voice.
Yeah, he shouldn't use it.
Yeah,
and just for the listeners, what I want to make this clear too, because some of y'all probably don't know, the actual intro for this show has auto-tune on it. This is what we're saying when we say a pitch correcting. It doesn't necessarily have to be there. It kind of helps it, and I think what we were going for this intro was something more to compete in a big industry of musicians and podcasts and stuff like that. So what we needed was a sound that was going to be competitive. Not saying that we necessarily needed auto-tune there, but it was just that competitive sound. So there was a reason why auto-tune was used for the intro of this podcast, and it's because we needed to compete in a big market. So that's that familiar sound that people would hear and say, oh, it sounds familiar, I like it, I don't know why I like it, but that's what the purpose of that was. And I think that's what most artists are doing, because they've heard people make hits with it. Oh, I need that familiar. Let me do that. Now, this one person, he did it. Kanye West. He used auto-tune.
Sure didn't he?
But see, what he was doing was going for a certain melodic type of feel on his music, because Kanye West has influenced a lot of people. He's used auto-tune, but his songs make sense. He's not overdoing it.
Right.
If that makes sense, because Kanye's clear when he's saying what he's saying. You can hear him, you can understand him. And I would accept him using auto-tune, and I'll tell you why I'd accept him using auto-tune. Because he's a producer. He's not just an artist.
Right.
And what producers do is look for differences somewhere. How can I make this different? How can I make this better? When you have the mind of a producer. Now, there's others. Of course, Kanye West. Now, he used the 808 and other watermark sounds, and I think he figured out how to use that effect in an entire album. But what it did was made his album emotional. He used auto-tune for an emotional reason. Which makes sense. Now, here's another artist, and it's a different reason why he used auto-tune. Young Thug used auto-tune. He used it, but you know why he uses auto-tune? Because he's a mumble rapper.
It's the different types of rappers.
Because in actuality, I can tell you, if I'm listening to a song with auto-tune for the first time, I may not understand the words going through that pitch correction. So if you're a mumble rapper, we don't understand you anyway. So putting auto-tune on it makes it harder for you to understand, and maybe you just like how it sounds, the cadence that he's got, because he does have a nice cadence, which his sound comes from a little bit of Lil Wayne. But Young Thug, he used it. I mean, auto-tune is basically just a vocal effect.
Let me ask you a question, Slash. In using auto-tune, do you we mentioned several rappers that used it. Now Kanye, we know what his resume looks like, so he definitely doesn't necessarily need to utilize auto-tune.
Right.
But some of these new and up and coming rappers, do you think it's taken away from their craft by utilizing auto-tune?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, because are they really showing and exposing what they're capable of by using it?
They're not, because the first thing, what you've made me do as a listener to you for the first time is doubt you. Because the first thing I'm saying, oh, he got auto-tune. Now that's taken away from me listening to what you actually saying, because this done gotten away now. So yeah, auto-tune can actually hurt you as opposed to helping you. You know, I just say, if you're a new and up and coming artist, just be creative. You know, vocal effects. There's so many other vocal effects that you can use. You know, and rap, when it all boils down, it's about your voice.
Yep.
What your voice sounds like. So when you add this vocal effect of auto-tune on there, you kind of making me doubt the skill that you have. Even if you got skills, you may be jamming. Yeah. But when I hear that auto-tune, I'm like, oh, here they go. They still jumping deep in with the auto-tune. You know, I just think it's so much better that you can do without.
So I got a question. You would say, just if a person uses auto-tune, say they got skills and they uses auto-tune, right?
Right.
Me, I look at skill, and I know I shouldn't, because if you freestyle it just right off the top of your dome,
right,
most people look at that as skill and not really the auto-tune. So how do you view both? I know it's off topic, but it's kind of on topic a little bit. Mm-hmm. How do you view, as far as if you get on a radio show, say they come on the podcast and we just say spit something right off top of your dome?
Well, the way I look at that is, if we tell you come right off the top of your dome and spit something, you're not going to have no auto-tune on you, because you're not running through this computer recorder.
If they don't have the skills to do it.
If you don't have the skills to freestyle, and you know you don't have the skills to freestyle, and somebody asks you to freestyle on a podcast, I think you should find your way out of it, rather than trying. You know what I mean? Because
if they can't freestyle, should be my question. If they can't freestyle, would you consider that artist not talented?
Of course.
Okay.
No, you know what? Let me retract that statement, or let me retract that.
Okay.
Because some artists, I'm not a freestyler. Mm-hmm. When I was a rapper before producing, I was never a freestyler.
Okay.
Most of my craft was from writing.
Right.
So just because they can't freestyle doesn't mean they're not a good artist. Most people that can freestyle can't write a song.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different. So just because you got some good, Lil Flip is supposed to be here in Houston, our freestyle king, right?
Right.
Now it's a battle between him and ESG.
Yep.
Just totally honest.
Right. So now that would be my question. So if the person know, man, I can't freestyle, let me do something different, like
so
auto-tune.
They'll go to auto-tune.
Yeah,
they'll use a vocal effect.
Exactly.
Right. And see, that's not helping that career. Again, it's kind of hurting you, because you giving somebody a chance to say, oh, he got auto-tune on him, when we know auto-tune is so oversaturated in the music industry for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I think when someone's freestyling, you're listening to more or less what they have to say.
Right.
And when you utilize an auto-tune, you're listening to more or less how it sounds.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
True.
That is definitely correct. And at that point, it takes away from your writing.
Right.
Because it's something you disguising now. You disguising your whole characteristic in your vocal. When you put that auto-tune on your voice, you disguising that. So I think it's just best to kind of keep it original. You know what I mean? And if it's a part in there that needs auto-tune, or that you want it, that's fine.
Just
because it's a vocal effect. But don't overdo it. Yeah. Don't make your whole song auto-tune, you know?
So I got a question. Slash, if you had to pick one rapper that really did good with using auto-tune, what rapper would that be?
J. Cole. All day long. I choose J. Cole. And the reason why I say that is because the stuff that he says is entertaining. So I can listen to his words and his storylines. He's got stories like the old school rappers. He got a story to tell. And at the end of it, you understand what he's trying to say. But I would accept him using auto-tune because I can understand his storyline or what he's trying to say. Only if auto-tune makes sense on that song.
Okay, now, I want you to think of a rapper Slash that has used auto-tune. And when you heard them on auto-tune for a particular song, you was like, that is terrible. I don't understand what you're saying. What artist would that be?
Just totally honest.
Yes, totally honest.
Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, don't do that.
Okay.
You know why?
Why?
Because he's already got that voice with that pitch.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He don't need auto-tune. That's going to be horrible. His voice is already high-pitched.
Already, and then to add some more pitch to it?
And then to add a pitch correction on something that's already high-pitched.
Yeah.
Horrible. It's not going to come out right. And that's just from me sitting in the studio knowing what's coming out of these speakers.
Okay, now I'm hearing what you're saying, but I want to make sure you and I Slash are on the same page. So you said that it wouldn't come out right. What I'm asking is, just to make sure we're on the same page, a song that was done already by an artist, and you heard it, and you were like, that's not good.
Man, it's so many. It's a lot of them. Because I'm the type that I'm totally against auto-tune if you don't need it.
Okay.
You know, my thing is if you're an artist, do it. But who would I say, man?
Just one.
Okay, I'll give you one. Let's see.
I want to, and the reason why I'm asking is because I want to see if it's who I think, who I would say.
I'm going to say this. This is another Houstonian. Travis Scott. I don't think Travis Scott doesn't necessarily need auto-tune on his vocal. I think he's outstanding and understandable without auto-tune on his vocal. So I would say Travis Scott would be the person that I don't think would sound good.
Okay. Yes.
His songs with auto-tune I don't like. He done several. I can't think of the name of them right now, but he done several songs where he used that auto-tune. He even do the auto-tune on his background stuff. And I just, to me, I don't like it. Travis Scott sounds really good without it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think for me it's Lil Wayne.
Yeah, Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne, I don't like his vocals with
now,
auto-tune.
The only song that I respected with Lil Wayne that had the auto-tune on it was How to Love. I respected that. Even though he's got this cracky, high-pitchy voice, but the auto-tune on the How to Love vocal itself was like perfect.
Yeah,
I think he used the right line to put that auto-tune on, and that's what made him a hit.
The chorus.
The hook.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, if auto-tune wasn't used in that song,
it wouldn't have been as hot. It wouldn't have been as hot.
Yeah.
He put, and see, it's about your wordplay, what you're saying, and how that auto-tune sound, because again, it's a vocal effect. If Lil Wayne didn't need it, but that right there, I think it made it a hit for him, putting it on his hook on How to Love.
How to Love.
Yep. And here's one. I don't know if y'all familiar. Do y'all remember the song called Broccoli?
That name sounds familiar. I can't.
It's a song called, remember Drum? It's a guy named Drum, and Lil Yachty had a song called Broccoli.
I remember that. I'm trying to remember how it goes.
Okay, that one had auto-tune heavy in the hook. I think that made that song hot. When we get off the air, we're going to listen to that. And the listeners, I want y'all to go back and listen to Broccoli with Drum by Lil Yachty. And y'all leave us a comment and let us know if y'all like that song or if you don't like that song. But I think that that kind of made that song a hit. I used to jam Broccoli with Drum. Drum was a new artist, and he's pretty hot. I think he's a producer also, working with some of the females now, like Summer Walker and stuff like that. He works with some of those, and they using auto-tune. But that's singing again, and it's okay there. But y'all leave us a comment if y'all like auto-tune. Let me know what you like it on, what you didn't like it on, if you heard it, if you don't know, if you need more explanation on auto-tune, hit me up. Y'all holla back. Peace.
So that's all, y'all, for this edition of Music Monday. Thanks for tuning in. Come back tomorrow and check out True Tuesday with K Money. Hit that like button, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, The 52 Scott Podcast. Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast.